Pretty much know what you're thinking. I know Nick's crazy. I know Nick's got some strange ideas that I don't agree with. He thinks all kinds of like really, really weird stuff. He's a professional tarot reader, so obviously, like, I mean, God, oh my God, why would I ever listen to him ever again? I mean, like, look at him, and now he's just like picking up these like empty cardboard boxes and videoing it. And what's even more insane about this Nick guy, right, is that he's put this video out on YouTube of him just like handling these boxes, which are empty. Oh, look at that, that's got a little flap which you can lift up. Isn't that exciting? Now, why on earth would I be doing that? Okay, I'm planning, and it is just planning at this stage. I mean, I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to get with it, because it's, it's a project. I'm planning a project, and the project is to, at a low cost, put together a couple of radionic devices in accordance with or similar to the design of Charles Cosmanio. He's an interesting guy. I don't agree with a lot of his attitude that he's got in his writings. A lot of it is very aggressive, very dark. Not all of it is dark, but most of it is. But he also speaks about a certain number of what he calls psionic devices, basically based upon the original designs or similar to original designs of other radionic devices. But they're made cheaply at home. I mean, you can go onto eBay and you can, I mean, try this. Go onto eBay, type in the words like radionic machine, and see what turns up. And if you're lucky, you'll get a few hits. Then these will be like $3 boxes, $6 boxes, and maybe they'll cost 200 or 300 or 500 pounds. And I've read some forum posts of people in other radionic forums, and they say that a lot of these ones that you can buy, they just like don't have all that much inside them, and so therefore they're a bit of a rip-off. Okay, so why not make your own? And this is what Charles Cosmanio was pretty much in favor of. There is a certain aspect of risk on my side of things in doing so, because one of the boxes he talks about is designed to be purely a weapon. Okay, and the dials are arranged in the symbol of the inverted pentagram, which he says is like the traditional symbol of evil. It isn't, is it? If you look at the history of the pentagram, the inverted pentagram was used in masonry to signify the first degree of initiation, and it also spoke of the birth of Christ, because it was talking about divinity coming down into earth. Okay, so the points coming downward was about the divine, namely God, coming down into the material, namely the birth of Christ. Okay, or the first stage of your own spiritual or religious journey within Masonry. That's one of the reasons why there's also always some confusion about the inverted pentagram. But on the other hand, his box, which is there supposed to be purely for a weapon, has 5 dials. It's in the design of the inverted pentagram, and it's designed to be there to harm, to injure, to kill, using psychic means, which I think is like fun, interesting, and scary. So obviously you people would like that. Obviously you don't just want to see like lots of empty boxes, just like, oh my god, Nick is so weird, he's showing me an empty box, isn't that fantastic? Maybe I'll just leave this here long enough the cat will crawl into it and I could mail him off somewhere. But what I thought I would do, I mean, he's got a few different boxes. Okay, there's a $3 box, okay? Then there's the scary $5 box, which is about harming people. Then there's an $8 box, which is about defense, and also analysis. And there's also another device, which is like a separate stick pad, which is used as a form of dowsing, which you can plug into one of the radionic boxes you've created. And of course, he's got his infamous helmet. And you need to buy a hard hat for that, and then drill holes in it and add the various devices and the wires and all the rest of it, which I might do as well at some point. But obviously that's not just yet. I want to see whether I'm not very good at making things. Okay, I mean I could like watch episodes of Blue Peter until the cows come home, and I would probably still struggle to make a pencil case out of a washing up liquid bottle. That sort of thing. I don't have manual skill. There'll be a bit of a fun challenge on a late evening when I really want to like take a bit of a break from work to try and see if I can do that. Now what I thought I could do, this box here is white, okay? So what I could do is use that as the opening so I can get inside it. Maybe make the holes there, and there, and have my inverted pentagram of dials there. And then I could have on top of here an input plate and an output plate. Okay, and maybe on the side here I could have the exit hole for the headphone jack, so that I could put other things like an extra stick pad into it when tuning it. This one, okay, whoops, a little bit of product placement there for Huel, you know, used not only by sportsmen and athletes but also by weird people like me. This one maybe I could use for an 8-dial box. Okay, the 8-dial box itself doesn't necessarily have plates around, like on the outside. They have one in the middle where you put your witness sample, but around that you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dials, and maybe I could fit them into that. Okay, with like give me your headphone jack down here to go out to the stick board, or down here. I'm right-handed, I'll do it from down here. So if I was to use that box there, I'll probably put the headphone jack down here in the bottom corner, because you know, right-handed stick pad, tune with the left, sense with the right, that sort of thing. You know what the stick pad is? It's like the tool of dowsing used in radionics. And then with this one, this fun little box from some well-known company that doesn't pay any fucking taxes. There's me, with my paltry little income, paying a hell of a lot more taxes than these people. Anyway, that's enough of politics for the moment. Alright. So this can then be turned into a basic 3-dial box. Maybe this way up. 1, 2, 3 potentiometers. And then input plate there, output plate there. And we could have a headphone jack there and a headphone jack there for either the helmet, if I do decide to make it, and a stick pad for when I choose to plug it in. Okay, I've got the wires on order, I've got the headphone jacks on order, and also the potentiometers and other fun things, as well as the soldering iron, some solder, and a glue gun which has a certain number, I think it's about 100 sticks to go with it. If you want to, I mean, that for, which should be enough to basically make all 3 boxes. Okay, and which that cost under £100 all told. Okay, paid for on credit card, which is less than half the price of an eBay Radionics box, which the proper Radionics professionals think is really rather paltry and doesn't actually do the job. Okay, and it's still less than the Spooky 2 Buchanan Labs basic Radionics box, the 3-dial, which I've got upstairs and I use alongside the Peggotty board. And then that was like mainly part of my like training, because I wanted something that was like new and made by someone else, and I can play with it and I can see if I can feel the energy and all that kind of stuff, which I've done to a certain extent. I haven't, like, you know, given myself great riches or cured myself of diseases with it. I've just had a few fun energetic experiences, that's all, and that's all I'm going to say right now, and I've been learning as I go. So maybe I can like build the 3 Charles Guzmani 01s, and maybe I can get some more potentiometers. I mean a box this size, if you think about it, I could put 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 34. I could potentially have like a 16-dial Radionics box from this if I can get the wirings right, and if I can get the plans right to do it. And I'll still have enough space at the top for an input plate and an output plate. Okay? Possibly, if I can work it out. And then maybe possibly a socket down here for a stick plate to come out of. Alright? It'll, you know, it looks kitchen table. But remember, Charles Guzmanio's first Radionics box he made himself, which he still uses. Now he's in his like 70s or whatever. He made out of a shoebox. And his belief then, and still now, from what his writing seemed to suggest, is that more natural materials, such as cardboard, which is basically made from wood and paper and trees and that sort of thing, is actually better, because the subtle energies can flow through it with greater ease. He's a very strong believer in the subtle energy field. Alright? Not at all interested in things like karma and spiritual growth and that sort of thing necessarily, but very interested in the existence of the energy field. Now, why would I bother Well, again, thinking about what Charles Cosmanio has said and all the other people involved in this, there's different ideas about how these things are believed to work. And I'm going to use the word believed right now because I think that's like more apt and more appropriate. And that is due to the difference between. Whoops! So you can actually have a look at my face now. How's that? Oh my god! I've probably shattered the camera lens. Okay, the difference between like the fantasy of what PK, psychokinetic energy, is about, which is like, there's someone dodgy in the shadows and you look at them and like lasers come out of your eye and you torch them to dust. That's the fantasy of PK. Okay. But what he spoke about was incidental PK. Like, let's say you're walking out of place, there's someone who's like really dodgy in the shadows, but you've built up your psychokinetic energy shield so much that something happens to him, like an air conditioning unit falls off a building and crushes him, so he can't like attack you. So it's all more to do with looking at cause and effect or other things happening to bring about a result which you have brought into reality as a result of intention, attention, and building up thought forms, which then have an effect. Now, if you've had like experiences of sharing dreams with people and feeling spiritual healing energy being moved and delivered by someone, you're more likely to believe in the existence of thought forms. Okay, like that's me. Okay, that's me I'm talking about. Okay. You'll still have questions. I mean, Charles Cosmania goes on about, oh, well, this works, that works, and all that kind of stuff, anyway, which I think is like very strong language. And I think it's inappropriate to have such strong language as that. I really do. Okay, I think it's just like not worthwhile. But there's still curiosity about what could possibly be achieved for health and healing. I don't feel quite as happy about making the inverted pentagram box. Okay, because I think that the attitudes which Cosmanio writes about are so dark it can affect people negatively, and I don't want people to be bad. I'm more interested in like a human understanding, human healing of mind and body, and human communication. That's much more like the things which interest me in this whole field. But I still want to make the toys just to see what happens. So that's like my ideas right now. Speak to you later.